you look at Andy Pages, the numbers don't lie. He's essentially best in baseball when it comes to all of the metrics offensively. But what tells you that this is not a hot start for him, that this is something that he's going to be able to maintain over the course of the season?
Yeah, I just think that the way he's going about it, there's consistency of work. His demeanor is consistent, which he's always kind of like that. I like the internal inside. I think that he's swinging at the right pitches. The plate discipline has gotten a lot better. The quality of contact better. Ability to hit to all fields is real. And so I think that, like I said last night, he's not going to hit 400, but I do think that the production of what he's doing, I think there's some consistencies there.
It's a perfect example of that when he had that 4 strikeout game in Toronto, but was able to turn the page quickly in the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think certainly with young players, sometimes they tend to spiral as the game speeds up. One bad game turns into 4 bad games, and he was able to right the ship pretty quickly and just kind of stay to the fundamentals and basics, and got a big hit that next day and just kind of went from there.
Dave, you talked about keeping Andy lower in the lineup just partly because of the way that he's been pitched, and obviously he's going to have to go up a little bit with Mookie out, but do you think you're going to keep him around the bottom half of the lineup regardless?
Not regardless. I do like having things bleed to him as far as the game comes and he's getting some RBI opportunities with guys in front of him. Then there's the other argument to having your better hitters take the most at bats, right? So I think that kind of the way I'm seeing it right now, he's still going to be in the middle to the bottom, but it could change. I'm not beholden to anything right for the long term. But at the end of the day, he's probably getting 4 at bats a night regardless of where I hit him, outside of 1, 2, or 3. And I also think that his production has been enhanced because he's where he's hitting and the guys that are hitting in front of him.
And anything new on Mookie?
Not really. He's moving well. I see him throwing, stretching out a little bit. I'm not sure when he's going to start swinging the bat. But from talking to him, he doesn't feel any symptoms. He's not symptomatic, so that's a good thing.
Is that the biggest hurdle to clear, especially with the oblique? How much you kind of have to rotate when you are swinging?
It is. Yeah, the swinging, there's still cause of trying to figure out how we ended up doing it. So the running part of it, he's run, and I've seen that. That looks good. I think the oblique is something where it's good until it's not. So you want to make sure that you're really mindful of the process to get back the build up.
Because it's so early in the season, are you just being more intentional with him and telling him that, take your time with this, no need to rush back or anything?
Yeah, we are. But also he's had experience with this in 18 where he never really fully came back. There's been some other injuries that he's dealt with that lingered. So I think that that's part of just getting more mature and just making sure that you have some viable options. And he's not of much benefit if he's not the Mookie Betts that we know. So that's why, encouraging him to take his time.
Would he need a rehab assignment once it gets to that point?
Fair question. I think that'd be hard to answer right now because we don't know how long he's going to be out for. But I know that, there's sim game opportunities, and he's probably not one that loves, going to a rehab assignment. So we'll put a pin in that one.
If he's symptom-free, what's holding him back from swinging and stuff?
I think that he's still doing rotational stuff in the weight room. But then I think there's just a build-up process before he picks up a bat, I guess.
Dave, some people are calling this series the $1 billion series and the most expensive series in MLB history. Can you speak on the Mets spending the past couple of seasons and just how they've been one of the few teams to rival the Dodgers in terms of reinvestment into their roster?
They got a good roster. They got a really good roster. They got really good players. And, losing Soto obviously is a big blow to them. And hopefully we can keep these guys down while they're not swinging well. This guy McClain is a homegrown guy, very talented. But yeah, I mean, it's a high-priced, it's a big city, big market, and they got a lot of good players.
We saw the Brock Stewart starting a rehab assignment. What's kind of the plan for him as he gets going?
Yeah, I think once he starts, he's got, 20 days. So he's throwing today, I think, in Ontario. So, you're looking at sort of spring training and how many outings that a reliever takes. So, I think that the 3 weeks is probably what it's going to take.
Do you feel that, those 3 weeks, does that maybe create any competition with the bullpen up here as he gets closer eventually to returning and you think about how to get him back?
When it gets closer, that'll certainly be a conversation. I hope we have that. That means that everyone's healthy. And then it'll be, hopefully it's a tough conversation. But yeah, we expect him back and expect him to be good. But, with him being out, with other guys being out, it's a good opportunity to see some guys. And I'm happy Kyle Hurt's here, and obviously get a longer look at Edgardo and guys like that.
Any results on his various MRI?
You know what? I don't know. I know he had an MRI. I'm not sure.
Dave, quickly to go back to Andy Pages, we've talked so much about his relationship with Teoscar Hernandez, but really how Teo is the mentor to the mentee. How do you see that relationship, though, just go back and forth and how they really push each other?
It's certainly a big brother, little brother relationship. Andy, Teo really took him under his wing early, showed him the ropes, and Andy leaned on him a lot. There's certainly a lot of banter with both those guys. Andy's giving it out a lot more these days, which is good to see. But Andy also, I think that he's starting to really become his own man, and that's a next graduating point for a big league ball player. To be able to spread your wings a little bit, find yourself, and he's got relations with a lot of players, and not just Teo. But Teo is his guy, which is great. But I do see Andy having other conversations with guys and talking to the hitting guys down there without Teo, and so he's starting to kind of have his own mind, which is a cool thing too.
Were you the adjudicator down here when they both came up talking after the fly ball the other night?
Yeah, that's funny until it's not funny. So he's got to take charge out there and make sure that the off outfielder hears him. But we have fun with that. But I'm glad the play was made. I think he's doing okay. Obviously, he's in the lineup today. I'm sure he's going to go out there and play catch today. But I haven't heard anything, so my expectation is he's going to be fine to pitch.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yep.
What's it been like? Having won it all, what was the offseason like, having reached the peak?
Yeah, it's incredible. I think just 2 years in a row makes it even more special, but just going into the offseason, there's such a huge difference between winning and then losing. It's just the first 2 weeks after losing is rough, and it's complete opposite after you win. So it's a phenomenal, whirlwind of emotions. And then as time kind of goes by, you settle in, you kind of look back and just relive the memories, and it's just cool, especially if you're around LA. People are just so stoked on the Dodgers. You walk around and everyone it's just awesome to feel the support of everybody.
It's kind of hard to hide too when you're as big as you are.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a lot more recognizable than maybe some other guys on the team, and it's just because of your height.
Yeah, I think so. Just hair and height and stuff. I think a lot of times too, they're just I don't. If someone's oh, hi, whatever, nice to meet you, and other people are what do you do? It's not necessarily people know, but it's why are you tall? So
yes.
What's it's just a general curiosity. Yeah.
Why are you tall?
Since we started there, to the World Series, kind of take us through. Pitchers are different, right, than position players.
Yeah.
I mean, you pitch, I think, 3 times in 6 days is what it was, including back-to-back, is kind of the way.
I think so. I honestly don't even remember.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
So what is that like as a pitcher? Routine seems to be part of sort of what you guys are all about. So what happens when the playoffs come around and now it's 2 days, and now 1 day back-to-back? What's going on there?
I think it's just everyone kind of grinding together, knowing that your routine's going to be thrown off. So I think as a unit, as a whole, of every starter, we were all kind of going out of the bullpen, so you just accept early on that you might not feel the most comfortable. You I think when you pitch long enough, you know what you need to get ready. Like you sometimes can become a slave to your routine, and it's like kind of frees your mind up on your start day. But I think for the most part, when you do get thrown into the fire on like a reliever routine, like you generally know what to do to get your body ready. It's just more about like the atmosphere and the feeling and everything like that, getting used to that. And I think pitching in the bullpen in 17 with the Pirates was pretty helpful. I feel like I kind of reverted back to that and like remembered how it felt and everything. But it is, yeah, you get thrown off of your routine, but I think, like I said, everyone's doing it, so you just go, whatever. At the end of the day, you are just going out there and pitching.
Who knew? Coming back from injury and the Pirates throwing you in the bullpen, the back end of 17 would come in handy. But Game 7 it felt different, right? Like it's Ohtani, it's you, it's Snell, it's Yamamoto. So what's going on? Are you guys in the bullpen? Are you going down early? Are you on the bench most of the time? How do you prepare for that, knowing it's just kind of, hey, this is an all hands on deck kind of thing?
Yeah, everyone's different. I think for me, I knew I was supposed to start Game 7, so Game 6, I didn't think about going down to the bullpen until kind of later in the game. Like I don't think I wasn't like the first option out of the pen, so I was kind of chilling for the first part of it. I think like second or third inning, I started getting ready and then going down there. And then each inning, you're just kind of like rolling out and kind of getting all your nervous energy out and like not sitting around and like moving around, trying to stay loose. And then everyone else has their own like unique routine. I think like for the most part, though, I think guys are like consistently moving around and then just trying to like stay ready, kind of know who's in the lineup and like know when you're going to face a guy if potentially you would be thrown into the game. But yeah, I just started moving around, and I think Bardo kind of told me around a fifth inning, like move around a little bit and start throwing lightly. And I think that's when I was like, all right, this guy could probably pitch in Game 6. And then it just after Roki gave up that double, it was like, get going, like go quicker and quicker. And then I had so much adrenaline that like I didn't even need to warm up, to be honest. Like I just felt so ready to go, and like you don't really feel anything with all that adrenaline. And then got
pitches.
ready, ran out, and yeah, I like blacked out. I didn't even remember.
Did you get out to Hurricane? Like, is that where the young people hung out, or were you such an elite young Santa Clarita Valley athlete that kind of thing, you weren't allowed to do?
No, when I was younger, I'd go all the time. I was more of a Hurricane Harbor type of guy when I was like little. And then like I think as you get older, you go to like, it's when you, I don't know, you have like a crush on a girl, like I'll meet you at Magic Mountain.
Or fist fighting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can get into all sorts of debauchery there. So I think it was like middle school age was like probably when I went the most, and then like I stopped going in like high school. But when you were little, you'd go, and then like you just had your different phases of like why you were going.
Did you ever flex out in Magic Mountain in just like a full heart high Indians, like
I don't know.
Letterman jacket?
Maybe. I feel like too you got like team issued stuff, and I didn't have like a ton of clothing, So I feel like for the most part you do wear your team issued stuff because you wear it to like practice and everything. Right. So maybe on accident, maybe
and
I was flexing
some purple-clad Valencia Vikings. There you go.
I didn't wear them. That was the rival.
Yeah,
only
it's
heart.
Like the Sharks and the Jets.
Showdown at Magic Mountain.
Yeah. How often do you get out to that part of the world, to your alma mater? I mean, it's such a rich athletic place. Dating back to Joe Cap.
Yeah, a lot
guys
of people
like that. But what's it like being from there, and how often do you make it back?
It's sick. I think early on in Pro Bowl, I was there quite a bit. Like I would go back, and I was still at my parents' house, so I would like go throw and work out at gyms around there, and then go throw at Hart and like say what's up to Ozell and everybody. And then as I got older, I was like moving out. I didn't go back as much. And then the time they have their like alumni game, when you would typically go back, is when we start spring. So I haven't been able to go back and forth quite as much. When I signed here, I drove down there, met with the team, met with Ozella, everything like that. I was there for Thanksgiving this last year. But the experience growing up there was sick. I love Santa Clarita. It was awesome. It was like, I think when you're there as a kid, everyone kind of was like, this place is boring. There's nothing to do. But like as you grow up in like, I was like a bunch of minor league towns and like a bunch of major league cities and everything. Like there definitely is like a special place for Santa Clarita in my heart.
Any chance that you're going to get your face painted like Freddie Freeman?
Probably not.
But you know how Freddie has it?
On the side of high school,
you're better looking than him. I mean, let's
I don't
be
know.
honest.
He's pretty good, though. I don't know. I have to maybe a couple more World Series, and we'll think about
That's
it.
all. Just a couple more.
Yeah.
What you went straight to the big leagues out of high school, so kind of you were University of Portland, I think I remember, right?
I was.
Did you ever think you were going to go there? Was there ever a moment where you're like, because I think as the draft is playing out, are you thinking about, all right, what's Portland going to be like, or how did that whole thing come together?
Sort of. So like, I was talking to, there were some schools I really wanted to go to, like UCLA, and I wanted to go to Berkeley and stuff like that, keep it in California. But I threw like 83, 84 miles per hour. And then University of Portland was like the only offer I had, and it was a D1 school, and all the other schools were like, we want to wait and see how you pitch your senior year. And I was just like, I don't want to do that. I'm going to commit to, went and visited Portland and was like, all right, I like the city. It's cool. I guess I'll commit here. And I committed, and then I had like a really awesome senior year. I started throwing really hard, or hard enough. And I wasn't super like really excited to go to Portland. I thought it was cool. I liked the coaches, I liked the players and stuff, but I did well. I got drafted, and I think immediately, like, I remember having like the debate in my mind after getting drafted of like whether I wanted to go to school or whether I wanted to play pro ball, and I just like hated school. So I was like, this is like the easiest decision ever.
Right.
I don't have to go do school, so I'm gonna go do pro ball. Like,
so, like, if you're 18 or 19 when you hit the minor leagues, what is that transition like from high school to, you know, some grizzled old dudes or young rookie? Like, what is that like when you show up? Where was your first stop?
It was like a mix of both worlds, because my first stop was Bradenton, Florida, like the camp. So it's like pretty like I don't know, easygoing at first. You have like a dorm, but the Pirates were really strict. We had like curfew, we had dorms, we couldn't go out. It was rough. Yeah, it was very like strict. So it was maybe like in hindsight relatively good for some people. You kind of like, especially out of high school, I was 17 years old, so it might have been good to have a curfew and all that stuff. But I also think I was able to, like, when you go on 12-hour bus rides and you sleep on like the ground, like a dusty ground. It was when I'm 17. If I were to go to college first and like experience whatever D1 or SEC or whatever school, about like how nice it was, and they had better travel accommodations and like fans in the stands and stuff. I think some guys from college had a harder time because they'd go from that to the crappy minor leagues and be like, this sucks. But I was like, this is awesome. Like,
awesome.
I get to sleep on a bus, and like I didn't care at all. Like, and it was just, everyone was just grinding together, and like I think there's something to like suffering with a group of people. It's like more memorable than like the fun times. So it was just, I didn't care at all. And like, most of the time, too, you associate your time somewhere with how well you pitched, and I did well in the minor league. So I could be in like the worst place ever and be like, it's pretty nice here. Like I didn't really mind.